Hello and welcome to Conscious Gatherers. My name is Beverly Thompson.
And I'm A.J. Royce.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sorry I got stuck in somewhere.
Yeah, my phone's ringing and I'm not going to get it. But anyway, this is welcome to Conscious Gatherers. My name, I've already said that. Oh my goodness.
Let's push the reset button.
Yes, can we do that? This is episode 177, and today's date is July 21st, 2026. So I think I got that right. Welcome, everybody. We do have some insights to share with you. And it's really you'll hear a few of our insights in just a moment. We had one visitor today, so that was interesting. I think I kind of felt he was Tartarian. So I'm not sure about that. But it was, you'll hear it after a bit, what he had to share with you all. But it's really about us taking our power back. Really not back. It's realizing the power that's already within us.
Amen.
So that's the major message for today. And I got a feeling we're going to be hearing this all around the world. In fact, something I read just a few minutes ago sounded kind of like that. It's like, okay, guys, you got this. And so, feel free to comment because of what I'm going to share. And Royce, jump in and vice versa. So we'll see how it all goes. And, we're also get my thoughts straight. You'll be sharing some of your personal experiences that I think that you may find very interesting, and some of you may be experiencing issues, especially with the cell towers and the sounds that are coming through. So you'll hear all of that and our own experiences, especially yours. So okay. The other thing, we're here to share our wisdom. What wisdom we have after we started this episode. It's like, wait a minute.
If you can't laugh, what good is it?
Yeah, laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's pretty crazy. All right, I lost my train of thought. Oh, this is going to be good. Anyway, I'll come to realizing my power.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, welcome, and I appreciate. All right, we got one laughing. All right, thank you. Laugh at ourselves. Oh my gosh. And I think that's really going to be a part of a lot of things that we're going to be experiencing is our own laughter. But anyway, going back to who we are. We both have been at this for quite a few years. Yeah. My awakening basically started in the 1980s, and here we are, how many years later? So really most of my life. And personally, I am an author of 3 books called History of the Universes. And Royce?
I have written 2 books, Walking into the Eye of God, which is about sacred geometry, and When the Night Comes Creeping, which is my own story, at least part of it. My spiritual awakening, how that came about, where it's taken me, and then the hits keep coming because it just keeps on going. You can't, once that sort of awakening starts, it doesn't stop unless you just stop it. But it keeps on going, and if you're willing to keep your eyes open, there's incoming all the time.
Yeah. You really start looking at reality in a whole new way, and you think you've got it, and then all of a sudden something else is thrown in. You're like, wait a minute, I had this down. This is the way it happens. When we have to sign a contract or whatever, I don't think you sign, but you have a contract with your parents for them to bring you into embodiment. And if they're your parent or not, I still think that is true. But there's even more. And you're like, well, wait a minute. what about these people that are clones or whatever? Now, are they soulless? Maybe. And, a few weeks ago, we're getting a lot of the soulless beings are leaving the earth. They're the NPCs. So I
And
just,
that is,
NPC, personal, non people or shoot, NPCs, non person character, I think. And I was getting non ones at the time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of interesting how that works. So there's just all this stuff on Earth that we had no idea that even existed. And man, now it's, it's out in the open. And so, but it's still, you shake your head like, how can this even happen?
Mm-hmm.
And even the last, few years, that is, we're starting to see all of this. And like, how come we couldn't see this before? But it's time. It's time for us to open our eyes. And I think that's a big message that we're getting today.
Yeah, and it's time for us to see the things that were once hidden, because it's all being exposed now. There's for us to progress in truth and light, then all the gobbledygook, the garbage, has to be exposed for what it is and carted off, gotten rid of, transmuted, whatever you want to put, whatever words you want to put to that.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's definitely happening.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about, your experience now with the cell powers before we get into all this?
Sure. It was quite a process. Back in, I believe it was the late 90s, I started hearing signals, and they were getting really unnerving. And I did some investigations to try to find out where these signals were coming from. Happened to connect with a gentleman who was willing to help me. And the exact day that I started hearing the signals, there were the first 2 cell phone towers put online on either side of where I lived. So I was smack dab in the middle. And I started realizing that I began having thoughts that were not mine. They were bizarre, unsavory thoughts, stuff that I never would have conjured up myself. So I was being affected by those signals that I was hearing. And then as time progressed, I began hearing something else, and it turned out to be the internet provider doing something that they call sweeping the nodes, sending a signal through the line to clear out the garbage, electromagnetic garbage that was in the line. So, and that sweeping the nodes sound was horrendous. And so all of these bizarre sounds started coming on board, and it was stuff that you can't get away from. Now, the way I'm wired, the way my hearing is, I hear things that you're not really supposed to be able, humans are not really supposed to be able to pick it up. I even went to an ear doctor to see. I had just the opposite problem. It was most of his people that came in, I was hearing too much. So he did the testing to find out what I was hearing, and he was flabbergasted. He said, "You're not kidding. You hear everything." And he looked inside my ears as if he was expecting to find something different inside my ear canals, and he couldn't find anything. It's just how I am wired, the stuff that I pick up on. So I'm telling you all of this because I know that I'm not the only one who's hearing these kind of things. And I I strive toward trying to keep my vibration, the vibration of my being, my spiritual being, high as I can, and I keep trying to increase it. And Bev's holding on to the table because I keep rocking the boat here.
Computer shaking.
And so, you know, this stuff, these signals, this stuff is traveling through the air, and if it can go through the air, through buildings, to get to where I can perceive it, I know that it's hitting all of you too. And so I'm just giving you some information that we are being hit with these frequencies, these signals, if you will, um, and they are having effects upon us. Um, I told you that I was having thoughts that I knew were not my own when I started first hearing the signals. And I also noticed that in the news, there were all kinds of people beginning to act out. Not just teens, but it's like everybody. Crime started to increase. People were doing bizarre things, going on shooting rampages and stuff. And so I'm questioning, are some of these signals being used to manipulate us so that you can be forewarned? If you find yourself maybe not hearing the signals, but you can tell that you're reacting to something, getting agitated, like you want to act out and do something that you normally wouldn't do. Spend some time with your internal self. Try to find a quiet place, as quiet as you can, to center yourself, to try to raise your vibration even further. And I have realized that for myself, when I hear these amping up of the signals, which it's still happening, 2 days ago, it amped up even more, even a higher signal, higher in tone. I've realized that it's my cue to help all of you, to do what I can do with my personal consciousness, to put it out there, to protect even more the earth and her inhabitants. We have that type of capability. So it's my cue, and I have just really gotten it, that when I hear these things, I need to go into action. So if you have the slightest inkling of what I'm talking about, maybe it's your cue too. If you are hearing things that you know is not anything that would be of benefit to you, and you are starting to react to it, everybody else is getting that same sort of thing. So go into action. Prayer is, it's wonderful, wonderful. You can't pray enough. Meditate. Raise your vibration in whichever way that you can. Spend time in nature, away from all the bombardment of the news. Just do what you can do to keep yourself centered and to do that which you know is right within yourself. Be true to you, and try to feather out all of the garbage that's incoming. So that's what I have to offer about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't hear what she hears, but on occasion when we're together, then I know. I'll feel something in my ear, and it gets kind of uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. She hears it, I don't, but many times I'll feel it, and so you just kind of I breathe with it, and then your body adjusts, and
Yeah, it takes me when there's the amping up of the signals. It doesn't just come on slowly. It's like wham, and I feel like I'm being hit with a load of bricks. It just slams you, and so it throws me off kilter a bit, and until I can get myself back to myself, and get myself steady and centered, and then I know to go to work, start doing the good stuff.
And then sometimes you're thrown off so much off kilter that you can't even it's hard to think.
That's right.
And if you need to make a list in front of you, remind you to bring in that light or love or extend it out or amplify through meditative practices or just your using your consciousness. Now that's what I'm going to get into in just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That you can overcome these sounds or this. I don't know. Is this part of the what do you call it? MK Ultra? I don't know. That's the MK. It's a mind control.
Yeah.
And I think that's eventually going away. It's not gone yet, but I feel that's on its way out because it's not going to be tolerated in the new earth.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm blessed with having a friend like Bev, who, when I'm in that state where I can't even think straight because I've been hit so hard, she'll remind me, don't you remember that you can do this or that? And yes. So I'm blessed in that way. I hope you have somebody like that.
You can reach out to. So yes, it's self-care. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate that.
What does it say?
Self-care is so important. I've been so tired lately. That's the other thing about being tired. The energies that are hitting the earth are intense.
Yeah.
And the Schumann resonance has spiked a lot recently. And a lot of people have been tired. And take care of yourself. And from what I read yesterday through, trying to think of the gentleman's name, but he's really pretty good at reading energies, planetary energies, and solar system and beyond. But Alexander Quinn, that's who I'm thinking about. But he said it's going to be another month. We're going to be going through some really strong energy. So if you're tired, rest. Don't try to overdo something. We have a tendency to do it. I can do this, I can do that, and I'm one of them. And I'm very stubborn. Yeah. It's like, okay, if it's too much, then back off. And I've learned to back off some as I've gotten a little older, but still, just talk to yourself. You can do that. So anyway, thank you for the comments. Excuse me. All right. Any questions or any comments on that? A lot going on. A lot. All right. The information I received is actually last evening, and I thought was a pretty good information. Mm-hmm. And it's really understanding ourselves a little bit more, but it's quite to the point mm-hmm. in many ways. So jump in if you'd like to explain something, if you need to explain something further. Okay, here goes. And I feel this is from my higher self. I think most of you listening to us know what we mean by that. So there's this physical self, but we also have what we term our God self. We're all together. But
sometimes there's channeling where you get information from other beings, mm-hmm. and we're choosy about who we receive information from. We just not all ears listening to everybody because there's some tricksters out there. Mm-hmm. Discernment, that's where that comes in. But there's you learn when it's the higher self.
Yeah,
through.
It just comes in. I don't feel sometimes I'll feel palpable energy when another being comes in, like we did today. But this wasn't that. But it's like I'm sitting at my desk and it's like, I feel like writing. And so you get that feeling. And that's to go inside to meditate. If you want to write it down, it's up to you. But because we do this, I like to write things down. So I just grabbed my pad and a pen and just let the information in into from my subconscious to my conscious. That's basically what that's all about. All right. Synchronicity abound and pay attention. Events are coming to fruition to show the world, the people of this world, what your capabilities are. All follows in with what we're talking about. Who's in charge of your world? I don't know. I know quite a few people have said, who's in charge? Who's in charge of this world? And so anyway, many people are saying the dark ones, the reptilian race, the mantoid race, plus other races who share your planet. Perhaps many people allow these ones to take charge. However, they have no greater power than the human race. Remember that. In fact, all mankind with souls have enormous power. Use it for the greater good. Let no man put asunder. Sound like a prayer, right? Okay. Listen and listen intently to your true self. Let's move here. Each of you have the power. Each of us. If you choose to lay back in your chairs without the realization of said powers, then you become that chair. Okay. A little interesting. But tells you something, right? What is playing out on your world scene is the downfall of what you thought were the controllers. They are being removed piece by piece. So, when I got that information, I said, well, does that mean they were controlling? They thought they were. There they are, controlling the banking system and the war machine and some of those other things that have been going on because it's all through the same entities. So we have experienced that on this planet, and that's what's being dismantled. So this is the downfall of those beings or those people. It said, do not see or view this as a weakness. That means, when I first got that skin, like, well, wait a minute, what's that mean? Does it? It's the downfall of what we thought were the controllers, and that's not a weakness to take them out. Does that make sense?
Well, I saw it as because we were hoodwinked to not see that we were weak. We just didn't have our eyes open enough to, wake up and smell the coffee. We didn't realize what was happening and kind of eased in and took over. And we were asleep, but don't see that as you were weak. You just were asleep, and now we're awake.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes you have to read or get information. It's like, okay, what does this mean? So, we have each other to bounce things off of. All right. And then I heard it is the people realizing the power within themselves. There will come a time where you will be able to view this takedown. Some people see it, many do not see it. So I feel that's coming up where we're going to see a lot more of what has gone on, why it's gone on, and it's all coming down. So that was yesterday's message. So
Felt like breaking out into hallelujah.
yeah, so yay. So even though some things are happening in this world and you're wondering what the heck, like Iran and that whole Mideast, stuff going on. So I do think it's a takedown of the dark ones and the cabal and a lot of things going on that we're not necessarily privy to. So it looks like we're going to be, a lot of things are going to be shown. So
Hold on to your seats.
yeah,
Get your popcorn ready.
that's what they're saying. Get your I don't know about eating popcorn on all this, but I know that's what's been talked about. All right. Do you want me to go on for today's message?
Sure.
Okay, today's message. This is, I feel this gentleman, he was quite large again, and I could see him coming through like I'm calling it a wormhole, for lack of another word, but it looked almost round, like through a tunnel. It's just again through my third eye, but I could see it. I'm like, well, that's interesting, so I'm calling it a wormhole. Go ahead.
May I interject?
Yes, please.
I believe it was last time I talked about traveling through that slit when this little alien showed up. And when I first stepped in through the slit, it appeared like a round space, a tubular, cylindrical space, and walked through that, going through space without the time to do it. It was really a weird experience, but that reminded me of the circle.
Well, that's what it looked like. Yeah. So anyway, this gentleman stepped in. I felt he was Tartarian, but I'm really not sure. So
that would have been interdimensional.
Yeah. Yeah. Or now does he, can we eventually see him in what we term 3D or 4D? I don't know. I don't know if I asked that question, then I got, does it really matter?
Yeah.
Not really. We're very inquisitive. I know I'm very inquisitive, so I ask a lot of questions. So I can feel that right on the top of my head. So, all right. But here is what this gentleman, I didn't get a name. This is what came through. He had said, your world will rise again to its greatness. Yes. It takes strength, agility, and courage with love. Earth is like the epicenter of a much larger transition now taking place. So our Earth is the epicenter. Like, oh my. The security, excuse me. I think, just a moment here. Make sure I can read my writing. Yeah. The security of past incarnations, we've lived before, guys, will now be seen as sideshows for many people. Well, that was kind of interesting. All right. The last vestiges of the old regime are now being removed. Control mechanisms, no more. Let your imagination soar to bring in and solidify the new day. You left kernels along your path. Well done. Pick up those kernels and don't look back. Recognize the plan put into place. Said your president does. That's what that was said. This plan is being fulfilled. A promise is a promise. Creator gods, that's us. Your time is now. Take action. Focus forward. And that's really
I
it.
like that focus forward, because we can get mired down in current stuff, and you really bring your vibration down when that happens, when you get all mired in the muck. But when you can even if you have to force yourself just to think forward, that gets the ball rolling again, keeps you from
the current and forward.
down.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
That's like it talked about, picking up, leaving kernels along your path and picking up the kernels and not looking back. So they become a pillar of salt.
Yeah, and there was something else that you said about the past life stuff.
Oh, past incarnations. Yeah. That goes along with it. I saw an orange. This is after I wrote this, but the security of past incarnations will now be seen as sideshows for many people. So in other words, it's not your whole being but it's something that brought you to this point.
Mhm.
And then, later I was seeing an orange in a hand, and I said, "What does this mean?" And you said segments. I went, "Oh." And then I saw it, when you peel an orange, and it's done in segments, kind of like a lotus would be opening. It's like each segment was representative of a past life, but it's part of the whole. So,
And I've got two things to say about from remembering past lives of my own. I know that when I was remembering one in particular, I got really into it and trying to figure out all the ins and outs of it, and to the point to where I almost lost my place in what I was doing in current time.
Mhm.
And so but I finally went past that and arrived at a place where I was able to see that past life for what it was, to glean what I could for benefit for my current life, and
Mhm.
then move on. And that's a great thing. But just to remember a past life and get stuck there, that's not going to do you any good. It's only when we can learn from it. And sometimes we do some really good things. Sometimes we make mistakes. But if you can learn from all of it, then you're all the better for it this time.
Exactly.
And that segment thing, that
Orange, yeah.
Years ago, I had a vision where I went down some steps, like into our basement, and that's like going into your subconscious. And I looked around and I saw these segmented places where different scenes were going on around me. And I looked around at each one, and there was a different version of myself in each one, which was really kind of freaky at the time. I was just observing, just trying to gather as much information as I could because I didn't understand it, and came to one that looked quite unusual. I'll put it that way. And that one turned and looked at me like, "What the heck are you looking at me for?" But it was like the whole experience was like, whoa, just taking that in. But the segmented places,
Mhm.
it was like an orange.
It's like all these lives. And, what if you can't remember your past lives? I see your comment. It's okay. It'd be some things that are going to be important to you. Like, why is this so important to me in this, I say in this life, but it may refer to another life, or you have these idiosyncrasies or whatever, may be from another life and it's brought into this life.
Yeah.
And so you probably are seeing it, you just don't realize it as such. And so, you don't see anything physical. It's, doesn't have to be physical. It's just your experiences are all within an orange, so to speak. And so, yeah, that's a
It's all within you. You may be able to remember it by way of a meditation, to ask yourself, to help yourself remember. But if you do that, I would ask that you also ask yourself to be separated from any emotional impact, because some stuff to relive it by way of seeing it playing out can be a bit traumatic. So just ask for your emotional body just to be even, just to be as an observer.
or attachment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you got so into one of your past lives, it became a focus for you trying to understand, which
Yeah.
I can understand that now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, all right. Well, I appreciate that comment. Okay. Go ahead and share if you would.
Okie dokie. This is my insight. Many are called, but few are chosen. And I've gotten that line before. It's like something that grabs your attention. For the believers and doers of light are called to be blazoned in their steadfastness to the pillar, the structure of true light. True light is orderly and fashioned in such a way as to be the antithesis of chaos. But because the chaos has been so chaotic, the structure of light is highlighted. The contrast is beyond obvious. Watch, look, listen to what is transpiring on all levels of being at this time. Where there is disharmony, introduce the true light. It will be noticed and it will be resisted, but the effort will be well worth it, for in that fertile soil, a mighty oak will be planted, a mighty oak whose acorns will be plenteous and whose reach will be extensive. So,
Pardon me.
so everything that we do, every effort that we make of light, of being true, okay, it will be like creating fertile soil for our futures to be planted in. When you have really good soil, the plants that you plant are they turn out much better. So put the effort into making fertile ground for your seeds, your thoughts to be planted, and something magnificent can come of it. I'm reminded of internally in some schools of thought, when we strive to raise our vibration, there are bodily changes that take place. And there are other chemicals that are created by the body because of the raise in vibration. In the digestive tract, there are two specific, there's a better word than chemicals, maybe enzymes. I'm not really sure what the word would be, but there's chyme and chyle, and these substances break down the food in such a way as to make that which is created of a much higher vibration. It actually is infused with light. So it transforms that matter into something of such a raised vibration that has light. So in our evolution, along this path of what it is to be human, we are moving toward homo-luminous, beings who exude light and hold it and exude it. And so by this transformation in the gut of transforming the matter into something of such a higher vibration, and filled with actual light, that what we leave behind is actually something of light too. So it's like us creating earth as something of light. So homo-luminous, living upon something of light. So I just find this whole process really interesting. How you doing?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I've had a cough for a long time and seemed to got worse. I was just at the beach. It seemed to got worse at the beach. So figure that one out. So whatever that is.
Did we get some? I don't have my glasses on, so
I think we've got it all. So we're good.
we got it
So
all.
thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me
Thank
for
you
coughing,
for the
guys.
comments.
Well, it may not be over. So sorry. Excuse me. I'll get through it. All right. Well, thank you for explaining all that. And
Sure.
even though I missed a good part of it, but, I'll catch up later. But thank you all. I appreciate you being here with us today. And just remember the power that you have, those capabilities. It's all built in. And we're just starting to realize how capable we are and to live it. And that's really what's changing the world, because we are the controllers of the world. And no longer are we the puppets of what we thought were the controllers. You know, they made themselves thinking that we were, dumbed down or whatever it may be. So,
Yeah, we're awake now.
yeah.
Or waking up.
Yeah, I mean, some things are so obvious now that's in our face. It's like, are you guys seeing this? And it's essentially what I was told earlier, pay attention.
Yeah.
So, all right, clean eating helps raise our vibration. Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot of it's also, in the brain.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're eating clean, then you usually are, because we have that ability to change.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I feel it
eat
is.
clean, and the way that your body is able to break down the food turns it into something. Actually, in this school of thought that I was referring to is referred to as first matter. So so something truly magnificent that's being left behind. So,
Mhm.
I wanted to mention about the service members who have given us a great gift, fighting for what they thought was right. They wouldn't have been there if they didn't, um, and they paid the ultimate price for that. And I salute you, my friends.
Yeah. I think we're going to have peace in the world once we all are in peace with ourselves. It's going to, each of us make a huge difference.
Yes.
Yeah. How many people say, I'm so small, what difference I'm going to make? Don't even go there. That is over. So, yeah, creator source. Yeah, I'm looking at your what you're putting out there. We all are part of creator source. Put it bluntly. Is it separate? No, we're all within the one.
Yeah, it moves through us, around us, within us.
Mm-hmm. So get over it that you have to be pious and all that. Nah.
Yeah, in the Gospel of Thomas, if you haven't ever read that, I've read a piece of it. Is quite striking what it has to say about split a piece of wood, and I'm there. It's just such simple words to express a vastness that it's hard to wrap your thoughts around. Not in a building of brick and mortar, but split a piece of wood and I'm there. Something so simple, something that can be everywhere.
It's everywhere.
That is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing.
It is. We're amazing. You're amazing. It's just time for you to realize that. So, and then you start acting, as such. It's yeah, it gets, yeah, there's some challenging times, I admit. And then after a while, you're like, what was I thinking? But you move on. So be it.
Yeah, everybody everybody makes mistakes. And if you take the word sin and you break it down, you go back to what it was actually translated from, uh, you come up with something that means miss the mark. So that's like, if you miss the mark, what do? Well, you try again.
And what mark? Who sets the mark?
Well, it's whatever you're shooting for, to try to be the best, to do the best in the best way. It's this whole thing of life is a learning process, and we are growing and mastering the self, which is quite a large thing to do.
But we're doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, thank you all for joining us today, and I appreciate your comments. Hindsight. So
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, hindsight 40. Yes, yeah, foresight, whatever, or not sight and now sight.
But we were told to keep our thoughts, our focus forward.
Focus forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting. All right, thank you. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and a lot more things happening within the next 2 weeks, and I think we're going to see some amazing things. Yeah, I heard there's going to be scary events. I've heard that for a long, long time.
Well, there have been,
continuous scary events. But you know what? Do we really need to go there? I'm really not seeing anything that's going to be frightful. I mean, if you're in an earthquake zone or whatever, and if you feel like you need to get out, I know we discussed this in other episodes, but you'll know, get out of the way or whatever. But listen to that voice within you. So.
Yeah.
It is you.
And there's been talk for a long time of some mass, what do you call it? Like UFOs, like a mass
sighting?
No, where they actually land and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the words just went out of my head, but if there is, it's not like they haven't been here before. Pay attention to how you feel about everything. If there's some nasty stuff going on, just like with earthquakes, get out of the way. Mm-hmm. But pay attention to what your own thoughts are. Don't jump on the bandwagon of running for your life. That you can't be killed.
Marty might die.
We don't die. This encasement dies, but we don't.
Yeah.
There is nothing to be afraid of. Not that I really want that to happen, to where something happens and it's a catastrophe. I don't want that to happen. I don't think it's going to. But the truth of the matter is we just don't die.
Yeah. So get over it.
Yeah. Yeah, get over it. Right. Get over your bad self.
Yeah. We're not, no longer in that category. Yeah. Well, thank you all. I appreciate your input and you all being here with us today. And we wish you only the best, because that's what is there for you. And that is you. So pat yourself on the back and keep moving. Take action. And as taking action is to understand that further understand that homo-luminous self that we are becoming, or we are.
Yeah, so I just want to tell all of you, thank you so much for being here at this time and for working so hard, trying to keep your vibration up and doing your best. That's what you're here to do. Mm-hmm. So thank you for your effort. You are making fertile soil for that mighty oak to be planted in. So I love you very much. Thank you for staying.
Much love to you all. Good day.
Bye.